Red Hat has announced the release of Red Hat OpenShift Container Storage 4.5, which comes with a load of new services and features. To talk about this release, we have with us today Pete Brey, Senior Product Marketing Manager at Red Hat. Pete, first of all, it's good to have you again.
It's great to be here again, Swapnil. Thank you.
Pete, as a starter, can you tell me a bit about Red Hat OpenShift Container Storage? What kind of functionality does it offer to users?
Yeah, that's a great question, Swapnil. So OpenShift Container Storage provides persistent storage services for Kubernetes applications.
Awesome. Now let's talk about this release. What are some of the highlights and new features there?
Great question also. Some of the new features, actually the biggest feature that we're introducing in release 4.5 is support for what we're calling external mode. You may be familiar with Red Hat Ceph Storage, and Ceph is famous for being able to scale out massively to support demanding data requirements. We are now bringing Ceph together with OpenShift Container Storage. So we're bringing the massive scalability story to Kubernetes environments. And this is really where we see the future, that as Kubernetes continues to mature as a technology, organizations are going to want to bring their data as well as their applications to a Kubernetes environment. And that's really the problem that we solve.
When you say external mode, can you just kind of elaborate so that it's more clear to our viewers?
That's a great question. When we talk about external mode, we're talking about using a standalone Ceph storage platform that's not connected necessarily to any Kubernetes cluster. And you might ask, well, what benefits or advantages does that really buy me? First and foremost, it allows you to set up a shared storage platform between multiple different Kubernetes cluster. And we're seeing this increasingly. I mentioned earlier about the maturity of Kubernetes. We're seeing more and more organizations that want this kind of functionality. They don't want to have pools or puddles of storage spread throughout their organizations to support their various Kubernetes environments. And so with this announcement with external mode, we're able to support an external Red Hat Ceph storage cluster that will support block, file, and object storage. But what's really an advancement here is our ability to deliver automation with that external cluster. So in the past, you've had to set up your own Ceph cluster, but now with the automation that we've built into OpenShift Container Storage, it's completely automated. So the installation experience is automated. In fact, you can complete the installation in under 10 minutes, but also the ongoing operational experience is greatly simplified because it's all embedded in the OpenShift management console.
Awesome. Also, what about those customers and users? They have built their own data lakes, which is sitting somewhere else.
That's a great question also. And for customers that have already built their own data lakes, more often than not, they're using object storage as the underpinning technology for that. And S3 is a standard, has become the industry standard for accessing object storage. And we support this in a couple of ways. One, for any object storage platform that supports S3, we have built in a multi-cloud gateway that supports access to any S3 object storage platform, whether it's in the public cloud, for instance, AWS or Microsoft Azure, or on-premises, like Red Hat Ceph Storage. So we provide a lot of flexibility with the multi-cloud gateway.
Awesome. Now let's talk about, because in today's world, when you talk clusters of clusters, is scalability. That's a big challenge. So how does this release kind of further improve scalability for users?
We really believe in the scalability of Ceph. And we have customers who have used Ceph for some of their most mission-critical customer support applications where they've scaled into the 100 petabyte range. Because we believe so much in the scalability of Ceph, we actually commissioned an independent study to demonstrate just how far we could push Ceph. And together with this launch, we are announcing a white paper and a study that we completed where we were able to support 10 billion objects, both small and large objects, being ingested into a Red Hat Ceph storage platform while maintaining consistent performance. And that last point is probably the most key point, because you could have an object storage platform that could support that level, 10 billion objects, but will it deliver the consistent performance that you need throughout the ingestion of all of that, those objects? And so we really feel that this is a new watermark within the industry for object storage platforms.
Right. Now, let's just change the topic for a while, get out of storage, and just talk about cloud in general. Red Hat adopted, mobile and cloud strategy, years ago. We have been telling people about digital transformation, move to the cloud. Suddenly, everybody, it has become a kind of urgency now. You have to be. So, but according to a lot of studies, there are companies, organizations who are still at a very early stage of their cloud or digital transformation journey. To talk a bit about from based on your own experience with customers, how important is cloud in today's world?
Absolutely. So cloud is extremely important to our customers today. And the best way I can describe this is an experience I had with a customer, a large bank based in New York. And I was sitting down and I was talking to their data science and their application development teams. And they said, Pete, what's really important to us is agility. We need to be able to stand up new applications, new services, almost instantaneously. And it's a little bit of the credit card experience that, we talk about with public cloud. And that's the experience that we want to bring not just to public cloud environments, but also to on-premise environments. And with just a click of a button and 10-minute installation, you can be up and running very, very quickly and managing not just your applications in a Kubernetes environment, but also the data that goes with the applications. And we know from experience that most applications are going to require some level of persistence and some level of data.
Right. And when we're talking about some applications are going to require, which is also like data versus application, these are two different words, because once you build data lake, or you have to also kind of ensure that the future workloads are fully taken care of. So I want to ask two full questions. One is that, can you talk about the roadmap? What are you looking for the next release? Number one. Number two is, how does this release ensure that it will continue to support future workloads as well?
That's a great question. So to answer the first question in terms of, taking a peek at the direction we're headed, it's really about servicing the data needs of organizations. One of the biggest problems that data scientists and data engineers have today is just the ability to find data. We see time after time where organizations are dealing with an incredible influx of the amount of data that they're having to deal with. And it's not that they don't have data, it's the problem that they don't have the right data in the right form at the right time. And so you talk about data lakes, and absolutely they're a very important force within the industry, but we also have to recognize where organizations are coming from. Many have built very large databases, online transaction processing databases, but they've also built data warehouses. And our view of the world is we want to support all of those methods of data at rest. But we also want to support data in motion, because we know that quite frequently organizations need to move data from one location to another, hopefully not in massive quantities, but they will need to be able to move it. And so we provide that level of support too, and we'll be increasingly providing support to move data from one location to another and transform it also in the process of moving it. But then the final category that we think about is data in action. And this is increasingly organizations are recognizing the importance of using analytics technology and artificial intelligence and machine learning. And so we're going to be supporting that also. In fact, a little bit of a sneak preview, if your audience wants to go take a look at opendatahub.io, that's a little bit of a sneak preview of some of the things that will be coming in the next few months from Red Hat Data Services.
Since you mentioned AI ML, while you support those kind of workload, I'm also curious how much AI and ML you are using for this platform itself.
So it's very interesting because Open Data Hub started out as an internal Red Hat project to support our own needs, to support our customers, literally our support centers who are taking phone calls from our customers. And so it grew out of those grassroots within Red Hat, but it has grown much bigger to the point that today we're discussing this project with many different customers of ours around how it can be a platform to help them solve their data integration challenges for AI/ML workloads.
Pete, thank you so much for taking your time out and talk about this release today. And I look forward to talk to you again. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Swapnil. It's always a pleasure talking to you.